Hey guys, welcome to my video about my razor. As you guys saw in the first video, I bought it for 4 grand. It had been driven in mud, and at the very end of the video I posted how bad the throttle body looked. Well, it keeps on giving. It's actually surprisingly a lot worse than it's actually not the worst case scenario, but pretty damn close to that. So far, I took the head had to be completely rebuilt. So new valves, new seals. We're gonna re-shim it, obviously, because we had to cut the seats because there was corrosion. It's been sitting in the mud for so long. So that's all completely redone. Here's a picture, I'll post it somewhere here, about how the valves looked before and after. That's a new valve with the current valves. The jugs, so the head, full rebuild. The cylinders, the one piston, the Nicosile had come off in 2 spots. It was a slight nick on one side, and I'm like, I could run this. And then I'm like, you know what, I can't. It's gonna keep getting worse and worse. So when I took the jug off, the pistons were beat. Like, it was bad. And so at that point I made the decision, okay, now I have to rebuild the top end. So then I ordered new pistons, new cylinder I got that from Bikeman Performance. I went with a 935 big bore kit. So that's 50 extra cc's on this motor. So maybe I'll end up with more power. And then I went to pull the oil out. The previous owner had told me he changed the oil right when he bought it or got it out of the mud. He changed the oil. I gotta say, that's pure bullshit. The oil came out murky as hell, like sludge, nothing but sludge. I was pouring diesel in there, gas in there, just cleaning it. There was so much sludge in there. You know what, I gotta pull the bottom end. So now I'm pulling the bottom end. It's all disconnected now. I'm about to lift it up. It's all loose. And then it got even worse because I didn't order a clutch puller. So I had to go to the dealership and buy one, and they're charging me $96 when I could have got one from Rocky Mountain for 40 bucks. So that happened, and now I'm about to pull this motor and from there. Yeah, so connecting about 3 or 4 days after that last video, I did get the motor out. The shock bolts were extremely corroded, so I had to cut them out. The motor actually, from where I was to here, all I had to really do was take the clutches off. And once the clutches came off, there's like 8 bolts, and it came right out. It wasn't, at that point I was basically 90% of the way there. I took the motor out and I opened up the oil pan, and the internals look perfect. They look fine. And my original plan was to not open up the cases, which I'm going to stick to now. I opened up the oil pan. Yes, there was some sludge in there, but it was actually fairly minor. I guess it had just pooled up in there, and I'd cleaned it really well. So I took the oil pan off. From there, with the pistons off the top, I was able to kind of see all of it, and had the stator cover off as well. So I looked at all of it. It's pretty good down there. No real rust issues or nothing. So I decided to go ahead with putting it back together. I cleaned it all out thoroughly, and might as well show you guys the progress on the bench. I got the pistons on. I thought this was going to take a lot longer. It it wasn't too difficult, and I'm very thankful. I'm grateful. Hopefully this works. I know people wreck their rings and things. Hopefully it works fine, but there's definitely still going to be some issues. I'm going to have to change the oil 3 or 4 times right off the bat. These clutches are corroded badly. I am going to try my best to clean these up. I'm just going to sand them down. The outsides don't mean too much. It's the insides that I have to make sure. I'm going to just wire wheel them, scuff them up, do what they do in the sleds. I tried to clean all this crap off. Use honestly half a gallon of brake cleaner and brushes and everything. But yeah, progress is looking good. I'm going to work on it for the rest of the day today. Now I'm almost ready to get the head on, which is very surprising. So yeah, so keep watching and I will record another one for sure before I post this. And I like my videos to be around 10 minutes or so. But yeah, see how it goes. All right, guys. So this last part went pretty smooth. I got the engine in. The only hard part was lining up the motor mounts and getting them in. That probably was about an hour on its own. Just the 2 front motor mount bolts. Well, 4 of them, but 2. Once you get 2, you're pretty much kind of done. Everything else went on very smoothly. I'm surprised the top end actually slipped in. Went good. I'm about to start it up now. So I got all the motor mounts on. The bolt is left on the shock. So that's probably really the only thing holding me back from riding it. I got the coolant in there, I got the oil in there. I got all the hoses on. It actually is, now that I've done it, I gotta say it's not that difficult of a job. There isn't that many little parts and pieces that you're gonna lose. Once you get the motor back in, like sitting in there, its spot, it's very straightforward. I don't think I had to look up really anything. 4 bolts in the back, 4 in the front, and that's kind of all that holds the motor on, to be honest with you. Everything else is just hoses, clamps, thermostat, and wires. Like, it's very, very simple. So here I am gonna try it out.